Hello, Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and welcome to this week's Stamping and Creating. Just bear with me a moment whilst I double check that. I'm going to ignore that because I have no idea who it is. Timing is everything, of course, but hey. So I'm just checking that this is actually going out live, which it probably is, which is why the phone's ringing, but hey. Yep. Oh, they're persistent, if nothing.
Hello, we are not available now.
Okay, so it looks like it's working. I will cut that out of the video when I come to put it up onto YouTube and everything. And in fact, I'll even try and cut some of it out for today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Fiona Whitten, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Wokingham in the UK. Every Wednesday afternoon I do a Facebook Live. Some weeks it's my virtual card and a cuppa. So that happens twice a month on the first and the third Wednesday of the month. And then all the other Wednesday afternoons I do what I call Stamping and Creating. So it could be a kit, it could be a fun fold, it could be just some ideas for you and some inspiration, which is basically what this is about this afternoon. So I did actually sit down the other day and I counted out the Christmas cards that I made. And guess what? I don't have enough. So it's like, okay, I really don't want to be making lots of fancy cards last minute. So what I really want to do is, first of all, use up some of my scrap paper that I've had from the the September to December mini catalogue. And so I'm going to use up some scraps and just keep it as simple as possible. And now I say these are scraps, and it's just true, as you'll see, they are just bits. And they come from the Winter Meadow 12 by 12 paper. This paper actually is carrying forward, which is nice. It's not in the new mini. I believe it will be in the next annual catalogue, which goes live in May. So if you do want to get some, then I would suggest you grab it now. So I'm going to use up these scraps, as I said, and I'm just going to make what I call strip cards. So literally this paper is going to be cut into strips. Some of it you can see is already in strips. Some of it, luckily, it doesn't matter which way round. So this piece, that bit's okay. That one, actually no, that one does matter. That and this piece don't really matter which way you cut them, but some of them do. So for example, these trees, I want to cut my strips this way rather than having short strips. And similarly, that piece. And well, that piece, you'd ordinarily cut it that way, but seeing as I quite like the piece on the back, I thought, actually, you know what, I can just cut it that way instead. So there's going to be some that you can have one way or the other. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer. Now, you don't have to be precise with this. The whole idea is they're quick, easy cards that you can simply use up your scraps or cut larger pieces like I'm going to be doing. So I know that, okay, so this is 6, so I'm actually going to do, I'm going to be difficult, and not difficult, I'm going to cut them into 3 centimetre strips. That one I quite like as it already is, so I'm not going to bother with that. This one, I think I'm going to cut it in a 2.5 and whatever else. So you can cut thin strips, you can cut thick strips. Obviously, if you want thin strips to go on the inside of your card, then you probably only want like a 1 centimetre strip. Let's see how wide, how long is that? That is okay, so that will be enough. So I'm going to cut that to be 1.5, so that one can go on inside a card. And in fact, I'm going to cut a 1 inch as well. And then the idea is you simply put together a card that you just like the design of. If you're starting off from scratch with full sheets of paper, you can actually cut a few sheets at the same time. It makes it a lot quicker to do, but because these are scraps, unless you've got scraps that are all the same size, in which case it's not so bad. Right, let's see, that's that. I did have some others, didn't I? Where did I do? Here we go. So I could do it that way. So all you need, as I said, is some paper, some coordinating coloured cardstock, and then once you've got all your strips, I guess I should have, I'm not going to use all of that. Oh yeah, I'm going to keep that as it is, so I'm just going to cut that into that. Right, okay. So I've got some strips. I'm not going to use all of that unless I need to. I need some cardstock, so I'm just going to make some straightforward standard C6 envelopes. So you'll need your cardstock. So in the UK you have A4. In the US you have letter size, and obviously all you need to do is cut it in half lengthwise, on the long side I should say. So for us in the UK that's like 14.85, 14.9 centimetres, and I'm going to cut a couple of pieces just so that I've got enough to make a few cards. So that's that, that's those. I need some white. I just need some basic white for the front and also for the insides. So for that, if you so you'll get 2 cards out of each if you're doing front and back. So again, I'm cutting them so they're half a centimetre smaller, both on the length and the width. So these will be 14.4 by 10. I'm just going to concentrate on the fronts of the cards to start off with. Right, let's put that trimmer to one side for a minute. Actually, no I won't. I will quickly score these in half. So I'm using these to make standard portrait cards. If I was going to use these as a landscape card, I would have cut them differently. So I would have cut them in half on the short side. I always like to have the fold on the left-hand side of the card. I'm not a big fan of the tent cards, which is when you have the fold at the top. So that would be a standard card, portrait card with my fold here on the left. That would be a tent fold, so you would have the fold on the top. As I said, I'm not too keen, simply because if you've got a card, sometimes if you put it on the mantelpiece, it will kind of start spreading out. This time of year, I know a lot of people have start putting their Christmas cards up onto Christmas card hangers and things like that. So I guess with Christmas cards it won't necessarily be such an issue, but at the same time, why make trouble for yourself? So I'm just going to grab some white card, which will go on the front, and then I just want to sort of find some paper that I like the look of that will go together, which this all will. maybe not that one, but so that would be one. In fact, I think I might put that onto a Misty Moonlight card base, so that's that. This is Pretty Peacock, so that would work, and that would work, as would, let's see, the back of something. What have we got here? I want something a little bit, see that nice blue, what's on the other side of that? Oh, that, okay. There we go. Now you can, of course, just simply glue these on and then trim them. Or you could trim them and make them into banners. I'll have them sort of crossing each other. But I'm a bit OCD when it comes to having things crossing, so I quite like staggering things like that. So, and I don't mind having white showing either. I mean, you could cover the whole of your card front if you wanted to. So I'm just going to glue these on, she says. Maybe I'll give up on that one. That's probably one left over from Card and a Cuppa. I always end up with the glue bottles with the not much left in them. This one has got stuff in them. I think it's just locked. Let's see if I can get that out. If in doubt, if I get a take your paper tool. Sometimes you can get the bit that's stuck in there out. Let's try again. Problem is I don't really just want to squeeze the bottle and end up with tons on, which is precisely what I'm going to have to do. You know what? Abandon that idea. And I'm just going to use my Stampin seal, which I don't use that often. Now, to make sure that I'm putting the paper on straight, I'm going to line my base up with my grid paper, and then I can then know how much of a border I want to leave. And if you line up the top and bottom pieces as well, then you know that's on nice and straight. Now I'm going to do, I'm going to do blue, that blue, and then that, or that, and then that. And obviously with this one, you can, not quite like, I think I'm going to do it like I had originally thought. Now I want a fair amount on there, and then I also want to put this on. And I'm going to turn it that way because it doesn't really matter. Now I know when I put this on that I left like a little square, so it was like 1/2 centimetre. Actually no, this is an inch, isn't it, on this side, so it's 1/4 inch was what was left. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. So my 1/4 inch is there. Oh, and there. And then all you need to do is to trim. So take the excess off. Now, was that going to go onto that? That's going to go onto this, wasn't it? like so. Now I've also got some ribbon and I've got some embellishments, but we'll sort that bit out in a minute. So this one, I am actually going to banner the ends, and I want this at different lengths. So the easiest thing to do again is just create your banner. So if you cut up in the middle, like so, and then cut from each point to the middle. Now I'm not going to worry about trimming off the top because I'm simply going to put these on here and then I'm going to just cut off the top. And you can have your banner here as long or as short as you want. Now, what was the other piece? Was it? I don't think it was that bit, or was it? I think I'm going to use not that one. This blue again, I think. Yep. Not quite the middle. I'm going to tuck that in. I think just so that it's, put that in there. Maybe I'll put that one here just so that it's a slightly different and breaks it up a bit. No. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So again, I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal to put this on. And I'm not going to put anything on the bottom edge because what I want to do is, I should have done this first, is I just want to use my bone folder to curl the ends up a bit. And again, for the first one, I'm going to make sure that I've sort of got it on a roughly equal spacing. So that was that one. This one was going to go here. So this time I'm going to curl it instead of before I do anything else. Like so. And then this piece. Now, depending on which way you've cut the paper, you may need to use a bone folder or your thumbnail or something just to flatten down the edge. Just so that you know that it's going to be lying down flat. Like that. Because I've used the Stampin' Steel, everything's sticking to it. But hey. So that one's going to go on there like that. Put those away so that I don't end up getting lots of other things stuck to them. That's that one. So that's two cards. Third card. Now what's that? So that could be the edge for that card. That one's got what? What's that? That can be the edge for that one. So that's the other great thing, is you can use the really thin scraps, as I said, just for the edges. This one I am going to put them on as at an angle. So I'm not too worried about how they line up. That one I think was next. It's just a question of just putting stuff on till that is aesthetically pleasing. There's no right or wrong way to this. I am literally just using strips to create. That one's probably a little bit too wide. Is that one thinner? That one, oh, that's the wrong way though. There we go. That's what I find is stuck. Make sure my trees are the right way round. Would be a bit of a disaster if they were not quite right. Okay, I'm going to take those bits off. They're not really much good for anything else, so they can go into the bin. And then, so that's my third one. What's that on the back of that? That's blue. I might just have to trim one of these just to make it so that it can fit or go on there. That's that. And then there's this one. I think I might need a bit more blue, so I'm going to use some of this, and I will, because I've got one strip here. Now, let's see. So I've got. Then the other thing you could do, if you do have a larger piece like this, so this is 8 centimeters wide by, well, it's, the whole thing is fine. So let's see. 3's into 8's 2 and a little bit. So if I do one at 3 centimeters. And then the other 2 at 2.5. Then what I'm going to do is simply, these are just going to go on so that the image continues right across. Oh, where's the other one? It's not that. No, it's not that. God, dearie me. I think it was, no, I did cut through. Okay, am I going completely nuts? Probably. It's not that one, because it's on, that one's on the flipping heck. How can, oh, there we go. I bet you that's it. Yeah, just happens to be upside down. So if you just use the bottom as your guide, then you can see that it goes across the whole piece again. So I start with the first one. Now I do want a gap between each piece. So let's put that one one on there like that, and then that was the next one, and then that was the one after it. And you could put the left and the right on, and then put the middle one on, and then centre that. But actually, I think I'm just going to have it so that it's just got an equal gap going across. Don't tell me my Stampin' Seal's finished. Don't think so. Come on. Oh, it has. Crumbs. I'm having one of those days with my adhesives. I really don't want to resort to tear tape. That one is definitely dead. Just bear with me whilst I try and get this working. I think I got it. Oh dear. Not my day for glue today. I would go and get another one, but it's right across the other side of the room. Oh, it's coming. Oh, I told you it would be a big blob. Right, let's put this on something out of the way before it makes a huge mess, which I think it's already done, but hey. I don't really want to squeeze this anymore, but I can see the blob of glue from inside it. There we go. I think that shouldn't prove to be a problem again. Famous last words. Right. I'll give it a moment, and then I'll take my glue eraser to it. And again, we're going to put this on the bottom, so then I know that the picture, the image going across, is continuous. And I'm just going to tweak this a bit so that it's kind of roughly got the same gap. Oh, that was a bit of scrap, wasn't it? So that can go on that. So if you ever see me with bits of papers just stuck literally on here, it is simply because I have got glue on there, and so I've just put some paper, cardstock or whatever down just to stop everything else from sticking to it. Again, another one that just goes directly lined up at the bottom. This is where you find out that your cutting is not brilliant, because obviously that was not a straight edge on there, because I can see the fact that it's either that or my glasses are still not good. I got some new glasses a couple of months ago, and I've had just problems with them. I thought I'd go for a new style, and because they're varifocals, I'm just having issues with where the varifocal bit cuts in and out. Right, okay, so that's my fourth card. And okay, so that one was not trimmed. So let's trim it to 14.4, which means that probably one of the others is not trimmed. The reason I put it that way is because I didn't want the glue to be up, facing up and catching on that. No, I wonder if this is the other one then. Yeah, this is slightly too long as well, but I'm not too worried about the glue on this one because it should be dry now. Right, so bit of paper or cardstock on there. I feel like I'm a bit of a medic patching people up. Right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So that's 4 card fronts. And then the other thing you need to do is put a sentiment on there, and also some embellishments, because let's face it, it's Christmas. It's that time of year we expect to see some bling on things. So I've just got one of my punches out because I thought rather than getting dies out and things like that. So you will find this one in the annual catalogue. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. I will put it on the notes later. I can't believe I've... Excuse me. I think it's one of those scam calls. I am just going to totally ignore it. If it's a day when you just feel like picking up the phone and throwing it across the room, this is one of them. Right, anyway, as I said, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm just going to stamp and punch. Yeah, I told you it was a scam call because they've just rung off. But oh well. So I've got 2 stamp sets and lots of inks. So I've got the Brightest Glow, and I've also got the Deck the Halls. I just need to figure out what's going to fit in what. So let's see. The nice thing about photopolymer and things is that if you just grab hold of the stamp that you want to use, you can just simply put it over that shape and see if it fits. So that one does. So that's Tidings. So I'll grab that one. What else have we got? Christmas, that will fit. And then I can make up my own sentiments. So I can do Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. So I'm just going to do a Merry Christmas. So I'm going to grab the Merry as well. We'll use that one. And then there's quite a few on the Brightest Glow that would fit on as well. So again, I'm just going to use the grid paper to line up my sentiment. So I'm just simply going to add them onto here. And then pick them up with my block. Alright, so first card, what colour have we got here? So this is Pretty Peacock card base, so maybe if we stamped it in Pretty Peacock. So let's grab that colour. And I'm going to go for Merry Christmas for this one. Alright, it's being photopolymer. I'm going to put Stampin' Pierce mat behind just so that I can have a little bit give on that. Now I don't want to go mad and go putting the sentiment right in the middle of the page, because when it comes to punching it out it's not going to reach. So if I stamp it there, and then I'm going to do the Tidings of Comfort and Joy as well, which I'm going to put here. Close that one out of the way. This is now going to prove me wrong and say, oh, it doesn't fit, but it does. And it's just a question of lining up your punch. I should have maybe put the Merry over a little bit, but you know what, it's what it is. So that can come out. So I'm literally holding the punch upside down. so that I can see the sentiment. And then the trick is to just hold the punch slightly so that it's not quite biting on the paper. I mean, the paper's there, you can't pull it out. And if you're happy with it, then punch through. And if you're not, you would simply release and then punch again. Try punching again. So we've got Tidings of Comfort and Joy can go on that one. And then where's the other one? So we have Merry Christmas. Maybe that will go on there. And then the other thing you can do, if you've got some scrap cardstock, I'm just going to cut this in half so that I have a whole card front still. And this is something that I teach in classes and things, and it's a really neat trick. And you just punch out the same shape that you've used, and then you can simply, and this one I'm going to cut in half with simply with a pair of paper snips. Going to put that on that end, and the other piece on the other end. Put that on the card front, and then panic because I don't know where I've put that piece of paper that has all the glue on it. Oh well, it's probably under one of these now. Hey, oh no, I can see it is out the way. That's good. And when it comes to sticking the punched shape out, I would actually put the glue on the portion that you're going to be gluing it onto. So if you put the glue on the back of there, and then you can play around so that it's somewhere where you want it to be. Because if I put all the glue on the punched piece behind, that's gone behind, then you will end up seeing the actual glue, because it'll be sticking out. So put another bit on there. I don't know that I'm going to have time to do all 4 cards. So that would be that. Obviously I've got glue all over it again. And you don't have to cut it in half here. You could cut it in half along the length. And you could do exactly the same thing with die cut ovals, circles, whatever you've got in your stash. Punches make it very easy to do, because you don't have to go and get out your die cutting machine or anything like that. You just grab whatever punch you have, and then you can punch away and cut to your heart's content. Oops. I'm trying to get it so that it's sort of level top and bottom. Now that does need something else on it. Now I do have some ribbon. So I've got some of the white and silver sheer ribbon. Not much of it left. And this is one of the ones that is going to be carried over. Now I could put it across and then add a bow. I think that's what I will do. Right, I need some glue dots to do that, because I don't want to be using glue to stick it down. Actually, thinking about it, tear tape would be better. Let's turn that over. putting it at the top. You don't need a lot to go behind, just enough that it would fix down. Like that. Might need to move that about a bit. Put some glue on here to fix it to the card. Like so. That's going to go on there. Sort of try and get it central. I'm going to use some dimensionals for that. She says, you wouldn't believe that when I started this session off, my desk was really tidy. And now I'll post a photo of the crafter moth later, because it really is a crafter moth. I've just got some what's left of some dimensionals from a kit actually. It's from last week's Christmas kit that I shared. So I'm just using up the edges. So I've got tidings of comfort and joy. There, like that. And then last but not least, a little bit more bling. So these are the faceted gems trios pack. These are retiring. They're not going forward or anything. So let's see. And they're quite large. So I'm going to leave that like that. So that's my first one. My second one is this. And it looks like I might need to cut down my, or glue down I should say, my edge on that again. Doesn't look like it's done very much. Oh, there's a bit of glue missing. Let's put that on. Try and make sure it doesn't squidge out. Now this one, I think I might end up putting some ribbon that way. See that it has squidged. Ribbons gone on the floor. So let's put some tear tape here. Bit on the top, bit on the bottom. Sorry, I just realised I'm sort of edging towards the edge of the table and you can't see very well, so let's move it back up again. I'm going to have that in line with the edge of that paper, I think. Like so. Hopefully that is in line with the edge of the paper. Yep. And then that will go on there. With a bit of glue. Put this on here. sentiment I'm actually going to put to the side. I don't know about whether or not that's going to stay down that ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a glue dot underneath. And if I just put it under where I'm going to put my sentiments I was talking about, if I put the sentiment in the middle, so long as I put my glue dot under here, like so, you can't actually see it from the ribbon, but I'm just going to hide that as well by putting some dimensionals again behind that and putting it over the top. And again, I'm just going to use up my scraps of dimensionals. If you put your dimensionals over the gap, if you have split your punched shape, that's just another way of making sure that they stay in place and things aren't going to go walkabouts. Not that they should, but it's just to doubly make sure. Now I haven't bothered putting one here simply because I want to put it over the ribbon, and I want to make sure that it's staying on like that. And then I'm going to add another, this time I'm going to put one of these ones on, I think. Put that on here, like so. So that's the second card. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 even. God, I can't count. And then we've got the two here. Am I going to use the same sentiments, or should I use something different? Let's see. There's a bit of that ribbon left, but not much. I mean, you could tie a bow here, or you could tie a knot. Just to add a bit of extra bling. You know what, I'm just going to leave it as a knot, I think. And then you can actually, it's a bit too long. It's a bit of a waste of ribbon if I do it that way. Because that's a loose knot, you can actually move it up and down. I could do the same on this as well. May as well finish off this ribbon. There we go, so that's those two. So that's that ribbon finished. Oh, I do like to finish a roll of ribbon. So now we have these two. I think I'm going to use the same sentiments, but I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight ink. So I just need to clean these off quickly. Right, Misty Moonlight, where are you? Got my paper. Got my Stampin' Pierce mat. I've got my Merry Christmas. And I've got the other sentiment. So I think I'm going to put this way because I just want to make sure that I've got enough room. Again, punch upside down. So I've got my tidings of comfort and joy and the Merry Christmas. We could actually just simply stamp the Merry Christmas down here. This time I'm going to find a piece of the paper that's got that darker blue one. I might put that on there and that on there. So this one, so I'm just going to cut this so that it's slightly thinner. Actually, I'm going to let's go 1.5 for each side. And then this I'm going to banner just slightly. So again, I'm just using a bit of scrap. Banner that. So rather than punching the same shape out, I'm just simply going to create a banner and add that to the card front. So I'm going to glue that. Move that out of the way. Put some glue on here. Put my Merry Christmas sentiment on it. Like so. Get some dye. Well, actually, let's glue that to the card front first. Now, will I make 4 cards in an hour? That is the question. This could be a race to the finish. That can go there. Get some more scrappy dimensionals. More scraps of dimensionals. Again, I'm just putting it slightly over the paper so this gives it some extra reinforcement. It doesn't look straight. That could be my stamping. And then I'll do exactly the same. Oh, I could do it with the green actually. That might look quite nice, because that will still tie in with some of the paper below. Again, just bannering the ends by cutting up the middle, and then from the points to that middle point. Just put some glue on the, I'm going to put it in the middle of the paper. Try not to sit it on. Come on. So it doesn't need to be a hugely long banner. It just needs to add something, so that it adds something and detracts, well, not so much detracts, but complements the other paper that is underneath. Why won't that go? Gosh, this paper's got a mind of its own. I don't know why. That's a bit better. So again, you can put this, I think I'm going to put that there. Use what's left of those backing of the dimensionals. How am I going to do it? Oh, like 2 minutes to go in. That will be the hour over. Try and keep these within an hour, although it's been kind of slightly taken with the phone going, but hey, guess it proves it's live. Well, yeah. And I will try and remove it from the recording that gets put on YouTube. There's no guarantee that I will. Oh, please. Let's try this one instead. Oh dear. I'm not going to do the insides because I am literally running out of time. I don't think you really want to sit and watch me cutting any more cardstock or paper at the moment. But the photos that I post will have, there'll be a picture of the insides. So that's that one and that one, and then we just need to add some of that, some of those gems, gems. There they are. And I think I'm going to go, let's see, how does that one look? No, I think I'm going to go for the sort of the clear one. That's nice. Maybe a bit up a bit further. Doesn't need to be quite so low. There we go. There's that one. And I don't know. I think I might just stick the odd one on here. Okay, right. So that's it. So that's my 4 cards that I have literally made on the fly whilst you have been watching. Let's see, now let's just move some of these bits out of the way. Oh, there we go. At least that's clear now. So these are the 2 that I just this second finished. And then these are the 2 that I made. Yeah, slightly earlier. So they've all been made with strips of scrap paper. And then I've just used the strips in different ways to create these cards. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing these. Next week there will be a virtual card and a cuppa because it'll be the first Wednesday of December. Oh my goodness. So that means that the current retirement list, clearance list will still be on the go. That goes until January 3rd. But things are already disappearing off the list because it's only while stocks last. So once everything's sold, then that is it, I'm afraid. So there's some things that are already in short on low inventory, and others are things that have already gone. So if you want to know what's still available, best place to look is my online store, because that is updated in real time. So simply go to oakfieldcrafts.stampinup.net. Stampin' Up have told us that last day for postage of orders, last day for ordering is the 15th of December. Now, given the this time of year starts to get a bit sketchy. Although everything does come via UPS from Germany, I would suggest that maybe you don't leave it until the 15th of December, because there is absolutely no guarantee that those 10 days, actually it won't even be 10 days, because the last things will be happening would be the 24th, so the 9 days will mean things that get to you in time. So I would suggest that if you know what it is that you would like, that you get that order in as soon as possible to avoid any disappointment come Christmas morning. So I think that's it for this week. Thank you for watching, and I will post the photos. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.